Before there was My Hero Academia, there was No Hero Academia. Good morning, pizza people. It's time Pizza back today with another video, and today we are doing the evolution of My Hero Academia's art. Because My Hero not only has come a long way story-wise, but if you compare the arts from where it started off to where it is now, My Hero has taken leaps and bounds to become like the top dog shonen that it is today. So to begin off, right, I'm not going to be drawing from Horikoshi's first manga because I don't think that really counts, but I'm going to be drawing from the rough sketches that he had of the characters that he made right before like My Hero got further into development. So he wasn't working on any manga at this time, but he was working on My Hero's base and just setting up what those characters will look like. And if you look on the screen, right, you see the prototypes for a lot of some of the most iconic My Hero characters in the series, being Deku, Bakugo, Uraraka, and All Might, right? And at first you can see that the art, it didn't have a specific face. I don't know if you look at a lot of Horikoshi's faces on his current day My Hero characters, but they have a lot more of a specific face and a specific art style to their faces, with how the eyes are drawn and with it's a softer, rounder face. But with this, you can tell that he was more so figuring that out and figuring out how to develop a face that really fits his art style, right? But a lot of these do come from some of the little draft pages in between the manga that just show what the characters were originally meant to be. And you can look at All Might and see that he still wanted All Might to have that dark action superhero face, where it's hella darkened out around the eyes and the mouth to really have that godly power. I won't say power, but sense of feeling when you look at them, because they're so tall that you only see the shadows in their eyes and all that. And you can look at Deku and see that he was meant to look way more like Froppy's edgy cousin or something like that, with how his face has that weird little V smile and with how creepy his hair is. And I don't know, he just looks a lot more like a Froppy family member. And not much about the clothes necessarily has changed, but you could say that when he developed the costumes for UA and what they would wear as a uniform and all that, that he was maybe I should let it be a little bit more free. Maybe I should make them look a little bit more like students and less college business majors or something like that. These kids before, I don't think they really had the drip that they have now, and I think a part of Horikoshi's art evolving was him figuring out how to draw drip as well. And here's this other picture of Deku that was supposed to be more so what he was meant to look like. You can see he was meant to be a lot more toxic, a lot more, not I won't say toxic, but a lot more creepier and a lot more of an edgy protagonist. Because I don't know if y'all know or not, but before My Hero, Deku was meant to remain quirkless and not get a quirk. Sorry if that's a spoiler, but you know, you can just look at Deku and tell that he was gonna be a way more edgier protagonist in the beginning of My Hero. And on to around the first couple early chapters of the series, when we were really starting to meet everybody and all that, you can see the art came a long way, and that he fully fleshed out the designs for these characters and figured out who they really wanted to be. Because you can see when he fully developed Deku's design here, right, as you see on the screen, you can see that Deku is less of that edginess that you saw before, but is way more of a softer, rounder character. And I think overall, Horikoshi just tended to lean more so into that softer, rounder character, or he tended to just draw a lot of them. Because I guess if you notice, when you look at a lot of characters, you don't see a lot of that sharp jawline, and even if it is somewhat sharp, it's still round at the tip, you know. And I think Horikoshi really focused that in on Deku to give that real soft and real innocent type of feeling when you look at Deku. You really want to root for a kid like this. He's not cocky, he's not arrogant, he's soft, and you get that feeling just from purely looking at Deku. And you know, that's a big thing with character designs, is that it has to match the personality of what you're shooting for as well. And you can even look at Uraraka right here. Look how round she looks. Like, you can see like these characters are a lot more skinny and not as like built, because it was an earlier point in the series and they hadn't, like, you know, beefed up a little bit, especially Deku too. You can see how skinny and frail and fragile he looked at the beginning. I think overall, right, like in those early chapters of My Hero Academia, I think like Horikoshi was like really learning and teaching himself how to like make like expressions on the face and like have real vivid details of like how a character is looking, or an anime character specifically, and figuring out how to like really display those emotions, albeit by like adding like, you know, blushing marks on this character, or like making like Deku look nervous in any sort of way, like the beginning of the series. And you can see like a lot of times, like with a lot of emotions, it's almost like he tested it out on Deku first. Like one of the first like double spread pages in the manga, I believe, was the one where Deku, like right after he had won the race, when he like exploded on that, like, I don't know, that weird little platform or whatever, and he boosted his way to the W. And you can see like right here, right, that when like Horikoshi was like drawing Deku earlier, he kind of brought back a little bit of that edginess in order to like show emotion with Deku. So instead of like just having it on him all the time and having him like have this like stock expression, he would like kind of just bring it back, like that scary look on Deku, like giving him more like darker rings around his eyes and his teeth looking a little bit sharper, and like Deku overall just having so much more of an angry expression with like the little marks in between his eyes. And you know, like Horikoshi's always been good at drawing faces, but it's just like seeing like that even earlier on he was better than a lot of people are like at their peak right now. And you can see that like when he gets on to this next stage of like his My Hero Academia art career or whatever, that he really figured out like how to draw expressions. And just like before we move on to the next part, right, look at that like explosion and all that. Like it's not as detailed, right, but with some of this next stuff I'm gonna show you, you're gonna see like how far like his facial expressions and his like art when it comes to explosions and all that type of stuff went. And to move on to like the current art of My Hero Academia, right, I would say this is like Horikoshi like at his peak, right? And I would like to just fully say that because as I've looked at the current art in My Hero Academia, like Horikoshi seems to have figured out like exactly how he wants his characters to look. Because I know I didn't go through like really at a middle point in the series, but throughout that middle point, Horikoshi kind of started like figuring out like a certain art style for the eyes and the My Hero characters. And he also got a lot more consistent with dropping multiple double page spreads like back to back, week to week, right? And I think that's just something that comes with time and like slowly developing and drawing the same characters over and over, because slowly but surely Deku's hair got like very consistent in how it looked. It had a very consistent shading, and Horikoshi would even like figure out art style faces like so detailed to the point that like he would add like a little bit of a scribble on the mouthpiece right here that you can see on the screen to just show something as little as the character being nervous, right? And I think that's such a big leap and jump in terms of like growth art wise, right? Because little things like that leave such a different impact or feel about what like the emotion the character is portraying in the current like scene, because we can't get it through like, you know, hearing it or like seeing it animated because it's manga. And I think like the fact that the creator of My Hero was able to progress so far and continuing to improve, even though he's drawing the same characters over and over year after year, is a big testament to like how good of an artist this guy is. And you can see like even Deku's costume got hella detailed and he's drawing that week to week. He's giving the characters more drip. He's dropping multiple double page spreads, and I'm just putting all of this on the screen, just showing y'all. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted, but like look how far he's come compared to chapter 1. And you can even see like the fact that every character he draws on screen has every piece of their costume, more or less. And he's constantly drawing multiple characters within one scene. And even in this side-by-side comparison, you can see how far like the expressions have come compared to how he showed Deku in chapter 1 versus how far Deku came in chapter 21, or even right here where it was chapter 1, chapter 2, and now it's chapter 123 of My Hero. You see like the body movements of Deku came so far, like the way his body is drawn or built, and he can draw Deku in such dynamic poses and all that because he's come so far as an artist in such a fast time. 4 years is a lot of time to come far in art. But let me know how you guys feel about the My Hero Academia art. Let me know if you think it's improved. Let me know who's your favorite artist and if I should do another video like this. Let me know how you feel about My Hero. And it was fun going back to see how these characters used to look and how far My Hero has come as a manga. It threw me back a little bit. But until next time, my name is Time Pizza and I will see you pizza people later. Peace.